white man lie.
Does God love everybody? Watch this. Let's get the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse... You know what? I want the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 17. So, you said God loves everybody. You never believe Christ looks like this. Okay, that's good. But this is something else that the image of the beast speaks to people. Watch this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 17. All nations before him.
Reading slow. All nations. Remember, we asked if God loved all nations, all races. Watch what he says about all nations.
All nations before him are as nothing.
What does that mean? All nations before him are as nothing. What does that mean?
All nations before whom? Before God?
Before God are as nothing. What does that mean? What does the word nothing mean?
It probably means that we have no value.
No, who doesn't have value?
All nations.
Watch this. Hold that. Get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. And then I'm going to read Isaiah 40. Watch this. Watch this. Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art...
For thou, man, who is he talking to in Deuteronomy?
You all, people, everybody.
Everybody?
For thou art.
Who is he talking to? Who is Moses speaking to in Deuteronomy? Man, we got another context. Who is Moses speaking to in Deuteronomy? Brother, do you know? Over here, brother. Let's call that brother. Brother, who is God speaking to in Deuteronomy? The Israelites. Give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So who is he speaking to?
Israel.
He's talking to Israelites. See that? How clear that is? Back to 7 and 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art.
For thou, for you. For thou means you. For you.
For thou art an holy people.
You are a holy people. So Isaiah 40 said all nations before him are as nothing. But then it says in Deuteronomy, this people you are holy. Who is he talking to in Deuteronomy?
Contradicting.
That was not contradicting. Because the all nations he's referring to is everybody else except the Israelites.
He didn't say for everybody else.
Yes, listen. Watch this. Read that again.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
God chose the Israelites, watch this,
to be a special people.
To be a special people
unto himself.
Unto himself.
That is very clear.
Watch the next part. You know what it's going to say in the next part?
The first part that you read just now.
I will. What does it say in the next part after this, you know?
I wouldn't know.
Watch this.
Above all people.
Above what?
Above all people.
The Israelites are above everybody. That's what they're saying.
That's right.
Now Isaiah 40, 17. You know what? Watch this. Let's start at verse 15. Because it's not talking about Israelites included. Watch.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket.
The nations are as a drop of a bucket. So who's he talking to? Is he talking to the Israelites? No.
Israelites must be included as
No, I'm going to tell you what he's talking. Isaiah is preaching to who? Who did Isaiah preach? Who was Isaiah? He was an Israelite. What tribe was he from? Judah. He lived in the land of Judah. He was teaching who? Israelites. The Israelites were following who? Who? No, at this time in Isaiah, this is the Old Testament. Who were the Israelites following? God, correct? But what happened with the Israelites? They stopped listening to God. They started breaking God's laws and started to follow what? All the who? The other nations, because they didn't have a God. right? So Isaiah comes and says, wait a minute, you brothers are the Israelites, just special and better than everybody else. He says, the nations are nothing, why are we following them? That's what he's saying. Verse 15.
Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket.
What does it mean, a drop of a bucket? What's in the bucket? Water. If you drop it, if a little piece of water dropped, do you care about it?
Means something.
Give me a water bottle. I want to give you the imagery. Give me a water. Watch this. Watch this. Read that again.
Behold, the nations are as a drop
Watch this.
of a
Watch
bucket.
this. Watch this. Drop it. Just a little. Do you care about that?
That's not a drop.
That's a drop. That's a drop. Look. Read 15.
Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket.
God says all the other races are just like that. That's what he's saying. That's heavy. That's very heavy because in Christianity they taught us God loves everybody. We just read the nations are as a drop of a bucket. Read on.
And are as counted as a small dust of the balance.
Small dust on the balance beam. That's how people weighed things back then. You ever seen in science class, they had the balance beam? If you put dust on it, does it weigh anything?
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't. It probably weighs 0.878 milligram. That's something very small. Right? Read on.
Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering.
So he's saying, how do we deal with God? Sacrifice. He said if Lebanon, meaning the Arabs and the Palestinians and the East Indians, if they were to burn their animals as a sacrifice to God, what did God say it was?
He taketh up the isles as a very little thing.
He taketh up the isles as a very little thing. The islands, the people that live on the islands, little thing. So these people, the other nations, they're little to God. 17 now.
All the nations before him are as nothing. They are counted to him less than nothing.
They are counted less than nothing. So sister, listen to me. The Israelites, according to God, is above all other races on the planet Earth.
That's right.
That's what they're saying. And guess who those Israelites are? Those people on that sign. Let's look at the sign.
Judah today are the American blacks. Benjamin are the West Indian blacks. They are above white people. Levi are the Haitians. They are above white people. Ephraim are the Puerto Ricans. Manasseh are the Cubans. Simeon the Dominicans. Zebulon from Guatemala to Panama. Gad, the Native American Indians. Reuben, the Seminole Indians. Asher, Issachar, Naphtali, Colombia, Mexico, Argentina. They're above everybody. That's what God is saying.
So, who's above everybody, sister? The Israelites. So, I want another one, Amos 3 and 1. Watch this, it's going to make it even clear. And I want the one in Joel as well.
The one that says none else.
Joel 2, I think. Yep, Amos chapter 3. Give me 2:27 first. Listen to what God says, because you might say, that sounds like it's a contradiction. Why did he say over here, he don't love all the nations, but in Deuteronomy, he loves Israel? Because we just established that Israel is his people. The rest of them are nothing. Watch this, Amos 3. Joel 2:27, right?
The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
Ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel,
and that I am the Lord your God.
and I am the Lord your God. Who's he talking to? Israelites.
And none else.
And none else. What does that mean? He says, I am the Lord your God, I'm in the midst of Israel, and none else. What does that mean?
Means that he's God and God only.
But what does it mean, I'm your God and none else?
God only.
What does it mean, none else?
God only.
And let's read it again, because sometimes the words go somewhere else. Read.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
So who is he? Who's the topic? Israel is the topic. Understand? Who's the subject? Israel. Who's the question and the answer we're talking to? The Israelites. You understand? Read on.
And that I am the Lord your God, and none else.
And none else. I am your God and none else, meaning I am nobody else's God. That's what he's saying.
That's right.
Why? Because he chose us to be his special people.
He made all of us.
You're right.
So how,
Did you buy, for example, you bought your shoes?
of course, I bought them.
Why did you choose to wear those shoes today? Because there was something in your head that said, you know what? These are the shoes I'm going to pick today, not the others.
But I love the others too.
No, you don't. You know there's a certain pair that you love more than others. Be honest. That's how God, but that's what God says.
That's right.
Let's read that again. Watch this. Give me Amos 3.
Bring it out.
I'm gonna go over all those basic scriptures. Watch.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word.
Hear the word. Who's the word? The Bible. Christ is the word.
That the Lord hath spoken against you.
The Lord has spoken against you. Who is he speaking to? Israelites again. Read on.
O children of Israel.
So who is the Bible about? The children of Israel. Watch this.
Against the whole family
Against the whole family.
which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
So when God delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt, were there other mixed multitude with them? Yes, you had the Edomites there, you had the Chinese there, right? You had the Moabites, we had the Ammonites, we had the we had some we had Philistines amongst us, we had some Jebusites amongst, we had some nations amongst us. He said, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, watch this, watch this. Who are we talking about? Israelites. Watch what he says.
You only have I known.
You only have I known. What does the word only mean? Meaning I only chose that person, that people, over everybody else. That's what that's saying. You only meaning all the 12 tribes is the only people I know. That's what he's saying. Read that part again.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Meaning all the nations God made, he only knows the Israelites. He created those other nations so the Israelites can rule them. That was the purpose of God from the beginning of time. The Israelites' purpose is to keep the commandments, keep all the laws of God, and to rule the other nations. That was our purpose from the beginning. But what happened? Israel started to follow the other nations. And we started worshiping their gods. We started worshiping Zeus. And we started worshiping white Jesus and Islam and Egyptology. We started worshiping all these other gods. That's why we're not in connection to him. But once we come back to the Bible, come back to who we are, we will have total connection to the Most High God. You understand? You understand that?
You don't just want total connection, but you want to regain
Exactly.
or status.
That's why Christ died on the cross. Who did Christ die on the cross for? Who did Christ die on the cross for? Who? Who's your people? What are their names? What are their true names? They're the Israelites. That's who Christ died for, sister. Give me Matthew 1:21. Who did Christ die for? Because people teach Christ died for everybody. No, let's read. I see you struggling in your face. I can see it. That's a pill to swallow. That's one of them big pills. You say Christ, when he was on the cross, when Christ was on the cross, bleeding and getting beaten, spit upon, had the soldiers stick the spear on the side and water came out. That was for Israelites. Give me that.
Which Christ? Because
I'm talking about the Son Christ. I'm talking about the black Jesus. Now he's not black Jesus. He's Jesus himself.
That's right.
You understand? Because they always put in our heads, black Jesus, black Hebrew Israelites. They always tell us that. But that's not Christ's name. You're not going to read in the Bible black Jesus. You're going to read Jesus. But he is a black man. You understand? So now let's read Matthew 1:21.
And he shall bring forth a sheep shall bring forth a son,
She meaning Mary.
and thou shalt call his name Jesus.
And he said, when you call his name, you're going to call his name Jesus. When you have birth to him, you're going to call him Jesus. Because back then, when we had children, we gave names that meant something. We didn't call them these crazy names like Tashariq and Latif and all these crazy names. And Ramel. There's some of them names is Arab names. You understand? Tyrone and all of that. And Boo Boo. We didn't name our kids that. We named names biblically that had a meaning to it. So if you had a kid and your kid felt like a lion, you called them, let's say in the Bible, we called him Arya, because that means lion. You had a brother named, you wanted to name him Benjamin, you said his name is Benjamin because he's the son of the right. That's what you said. So let's read.
And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus. For he shall save his people.
He shall save who?
Save his people.
He shall save his people. His people. Brother, what does his people mean? Who is Christ's people? Israelites. What tribe is Christ? You know? Christ was from the tribe of Judah. So who's that saying? Christ was an Israelite. Christ died for his people. He saved them. The word Jesus means he saved. Saves who? The Israelites. Matthew 15:24. Stay here because you got to learn. Because you know what, our people? We have been miseducated in church, school. We've been miseducated in college. Because people think they go to college. But listen. So take a flag.
I can't have a conversation right now.
Okay. So listen. So who are the Israelites, sister? From Guyana. Who are the Israelites?
You said the Indians and the black
Look at there on the sign. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the real Jews. The white people in Israel, they're not the Jews.
That I believe.
You believe that? And who did Christ die for?
His people.
Who's his people?
Those people.
The Israelites, right? And who is God, the God of? The Israelites. Does God love everybody? We just read in the Bible, he does not. You don't think he hates? What about you, brother? Do you think God hates people? Do you think God hates people? Think about it. Think about it. Sister in the back. Does God hate people? He doesn't hate nobody? Do we hate people? Do humans have hate? So if humans have the emotion of hate, why does God don't have that emotion? You know why? Because we have been miseducated in church. Let's prove in the Bible, who does God hate?
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13.
We're reading Romans in the New Testament. Romans, written by the Apostle Paul. Who is Paul, an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin? Read.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved.
Who's Jacob? The father of the 12 tribes of Israel. God says, I love Jacob. Hebrew is Yaquab. That's Jacob or Yaakov. Read on.
But Esau have I hated.
But Esau have I hated. Wait a minute. He says, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So God does hate. See that? You get mad. Listen, Esau is who today?
White man.
Esau is the white man today. That's his race, the Edomites, Esau.
And why are they prospering and not us?
You know why? That's a good question. Good question. Read the book of Deuteronomy 28. No. Give me that in Leviticus 26. Watch this. Because we just read in the Bible, God hates Esau. Who's Esau? The so-called white man. God hates them. But then the question was, why is he above everything? Why does he rule the world? Why does he have airplanes and spaceships and finding civilizations in different countries, bombing people? Why is he? Because in the time of Isaiah, watch this, in Isaiah prophesied that there will be a man called Lucifer that will weaken the nations. Who's Lucifer today? The so-called white man. We're going to prove it. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 17. And I will set my face against you.
God says he will set his face against the Israelites because the Israelites broke God's laws. They broke the 10 commandments and the other commandments. We broke them. Because a father to his son, if you break your son, if the father gives your son rules and the son breaks the father's rules, he will be angry. He will set his face against you. God is our father. He set his face against us. Read on.
And ye shall be slain before your enemies.
Ye shall be slain before your enemies. So God said, you know what, since you break my law, the enemies that I hate and the ones that is going to destroy you, they're going to come against you because you broke my laws. Read on.
They that hate you,
they that hate us
shall reign over you.
Bible prophecy. They that hate us shall reign over us. That's why God has the white man in power, because we broke God's commandments. That's the reason. Our condition is our fault. I'm going to tell you straight. We're in this condition because it's our fault, brothers and sisters. Yes. How? Give me Deuteronomy 28:1. Watch this. This is the reverse. Can we reverse this? How are we going to do that? Deuteronomy 28:1. Can we reverse this madness that we're in? Drug dealers, drug selling, black on black crime, abortion. Can we fix this? Yes, it can be fixed.
I want to fix the rule of the white man over the black man.
The way we're going to fix it is this.
Fix that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass.
And thou shalt hearken diligently unto the
hearken diligently, meaning listen attentively, carefully,
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
If we do all the commandments. I'm going to read some commandments in a minute. Read on.
Which I command thee this day.
Which God command us this day. Watch the answer. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Read on.
That the Lord thy God will set thee will set thee on high.
The Most High God will set the Israelites on high. Read on.
Above all nations of the earth.
Above all nations of the earth. So how do we do that? Keeping what? The commandments.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.